Venus goes direct. Jupiter and Uranus go retrograde. Plus, we have our luckiest day of the year this week. My friend, we've got lots to talk about here for our weekly sidereal astrology forecast. Plus, we got to talk about the moon, what the moon's doing this week. So, my friend, stay tuned because this is your sidereal astrology forecast for the week. Hey, my friend, Danny C. Mooney's here. It is September 4th, and we are looking at our forecast for September 4th through September 10th. Danny C. Mooney is your spiritual healer, helping you heal the past, the present, and the future by connecting into your inner knowledge. My friend, I am so blessed and so honored. One of my favorite things to do is to help you remember who you are, why you came here, so that we can heal those generational, societal, ancestral paradigms. And we do this through the lens of astrology and the Akashic records. I am so honored and so blessed to be able to do this work with you. So if you are somebody who is looking to heal that past, that present, and this future, my friend, you might want to take a look at Cosmic Alchemy. That is the brand new 12-month program that we just launched this month, actually last month in August. I am so excited to welcome you into this new opportunity to do some really deep dives to really unleash your authentic you, because my friend, you have a soul mission, and I am here to help be your guide to help you fulfill that. So let's dive in because we've got some stuff going on this week. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I got like this hair. There it is. It's like this hair, like my hair is a little cray cray today and it's like in my face. So we've got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see this beautiful chart that we have here. Okay, so we kick off this week. Let's go ahead and find out where our sun is, because our sun, we want to know where she's hanging out, what she's up to, what she's doing, and our sun is right here. Our sun is right here still in the zodiac sign of Leo. So we are talking about sidereal astrology, my friend. Remember, this is sidereal astrology. So we're talking about what is actually happening in our sky at this time, where our tropical friends are talking about Virgo, right? Moving into Virgo season. But indeed, we still are in Leo season. As you can see, we're at 17 degrees. So we're just over halfway through the season. So we still have a couple more weeks here in this beautiful energy. So I do want to take a look at a couple different things that we have. First off, you can notice that the sun right here is connected. It is called conjunct, right? If you've been following along on these forecasts, you'll know that that is a conjunction, meaning that they are hanging out together. So the sun and Mercury are just hanging out. They're BFFs right now, having a good old time. And the conjunction is where they are really sharing each other's energy. Now, Mercury is retrograde, right? It's been retrograde and it's going to continue to be in its retrograde position for just another week and a half. So when we have this energy of the sun and Mercury together, there's a lot of focus on our thinking and our communication. Remember, the sun is our consciousness. It's what's very conscious, very present when in our present awareness. And so, there might be some focusing on like that communication and thinking right now. So there's a lot of mental alertness, a lot of quick thinking. That Mercury energy is very curious. It's very adaptable. It's actually the trickster of the planets. And so it's that kind of like fun, jovial type energy, which is great. Now, this is a retrograde position, so it is more internal. So we are looking at more of like, how am I doing these things, right? What is going on? How am I communicating? How is my thinking going? You might even be thinking about doing some travel, right? Because Mercury does rule short travel. So there might be some of that, or wanting to kind of evaluate your schedule and see maybe what's going on with your schedule. So this is a really good time to really like be aware of what you're thinking, of what patterns, what thought patterns, what loops may be coming forward, because they're coming forward for a really good reason. Now, let's take a look and see what else we have going on with our sun. So we can see across the way here, we have a couple of things happening. Number one, we have this trine to Jupiter. Now, whenever the sun is trine Jupiter, we have this really optimistic, generous, lucky type energy. So a trine is a really beautiful aspect in astrology where we're really connecting these two, not so much as like the conjunction of where we're just hanging out and we're influencing each other. The trine is more of a supportive type energy. Both the trine and the sextile are very supportive type energies. So there's a lot of growth opportunity right here, a lot of good fortune, opportunities for success right here, really confident, really like good outlook, like an adventurous outlook, because we're also talking about Jupiter here, and we're in Leo, right? Our sun is in Leo, so really fun, optimistic, upbeat type outlook. And so over these next few, about a week, just over a week, from September 2nd through September 13th, it will be in that trine position, in that trine aspect, and it will be exact where it's the most potent on September 8th. So any type of intentions, any type of blessings maybe that you're wanting to do during this period, the 8th would be the best day to do it. It's the most prime day. It's just like the full moon. It's the highest peak energy. But any time within these next 2 weeks, really allowing yourself to step into, that lucky girl syndrome. What would it be like? Who do I need to be that type of person who is optimistic and generous and happy and enthusiastic about life, right? Who do I need to be, or what needs to be released so that I can be in that? And so you can set your intention around what you're ready to let go of, which may be blocking that or inviting that in. Remember, either way is fine. So this is a very, very lucky influence, though. So take advantage of that. Now, if we move forward and we get to the end of the week here on the 10th, you will notice that Uranus pops in. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Uranus in a bit, but Uranus is making this trine to the sun, and it does become in that position on the 10th. So with Uranus is an eccentric, very, very visionary type planet. It's the rebel of all the planets. And so there's more open-mindedness here, more adventure wanting to come in. There's heightened intuition whenever we're talking about Uranus, especially Neptune as well. But with here, we get more flashes of insights. So I want you to pay attention to your dreams, especially starting at the end of this week. So pay attention to those dreams. Those dreams are giving you insights, or those messages you're receiving, whether you're somebody who is working with guides or working with, spirit animals or anything like that. This is definitely like pay attention to those signals, to those signs, to the symbols, to the messages you're receiving. Now, if you're somebody that's like not into that, not quite there yet, then that is perfectly fine too. I'm going to ask you to pay attention to the repetitive messages that you're receiving, because you might receive it through a social media post, and then you might receive it through a conversation with a friend, and then you might receive it maybe on a TV show that you're watching. Not that I have any experience with this at all, but there are times where I am getting messages that I see somewhere, and then it just keeps getting repeated to me, and I have to say, okay, message received. I have received my message. Thank you very much. And now I need to go do something with that message. All right. I need to explore it and see, why am I getting this message? Why is this wanting to come to me now? What do I need to expand my awareness around so that I can allow that to come in? Because for some reason, right, it kept trying to come to me. The same for you, my friend. Again, this is a good time to try something new, to be a little bit more adventurous. Making new friends is always a good thing during this time, as well as changes in your life. If you're like, I'm tired of this, or I'm tired of that, like to change the habits, to change the belief systems, to change the way in which you're doing something. Because, my friend, if you don't like what is before you, there is something internally that is going on that we need to take a look at. We need to gain that inner knowledge, that understanding, so that we can see, right? Experience, understand, feel what needs to be changed. Because sometimes we think about this. I sent this in a newsletter. I'm going to stop this. If you are not on my email list, there's the link down in the description box to join. But I've been sending out these weekly reflection emails. They come out on Sundays, and it's usually a reflection or something that I've learned in the past week, or something I'm looking at from the past week. And I've been enjoying sharing them. I hope if you're somebody that gets them, you're enjoying reading them. But one of the things I put in this last week's email that went out on Sunday, the 3rd, was that I had been in this pattern of not trusting my intuition. And when I was like, I got this message again of like, why are you not trusting yourself? Like, why are you not trusting the immediate? Because I get insights like that. They happen really quickly. And I always wanted to push them away and say, like, yeah, but, right? That, yeah, but, like, I feel it in my body, or I'd have an insight, like I'd have a knowing of some sort, but I just push it away. And then, I go through whatever it might be. And then I'm like, there we go, right? There we go. Like, I get my confirmation of what I knew in the beginning. And, sometimes I would chalk it up to, well, there's a lesson I need to learn here, or there's something I need to learn. And trust me, there's a lot of things for me to learn. And yet I realized that I could have cut, I feel like I could have cut time. Like, time is the one resource that is not renewable, right? We only get a certain amount of time. And I'm like, why am I wasting my time? I'm wasting my growth, right? I'm wasting my opportunities because I'm not trusting, I'm not stepping into and following my intuition. And so this is the email that I wrote. And so I was like, okay, this is coming up. This has been coming up. There's something here for me to explore. And so I did. I was ready to kind of look at that and see what it might be, and come to find out that this was, I thought it was just a trusting thing, like there was something of a value thing maybe that I wasn't having. And as I explored, it was actually a past life healing that I needed to do. There was an aspect of me that was frozen in time, because there was an experience that I had of when I was actually trusting my intuition and following it and sharing it, that I actually received repercussions for it in a negative way. And because of that, me in this lifetime didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, I felt as if, right, this is on a very deep soul level, didn't want to experience the torture and the pain in what I experienced in that lifetime. And so by allowing myself to heal that and to get that awareness around it and release that aspect of my soul, like I feel I've been trusting my intuition more, following my intuition more, and just allowing myself to just know, like, I know, so I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to, maybe this or that. I'm just going to follow it. And it's been serving me quite well the past, I would say at least the past month, for sure. And I felt it even more this past week. So, my friend, this is why when those things come up for us, it's our opportunity to like receive the message, number one, and two, to dive deeper and see what it is that's going on. Because, my friend, I can tell you, what we think it might be might not necessarily be what it is. There could be something deeper to look at. So let's take a look at some other things here that we've got. So that's pretty much our sun. I just wanted to point out those two main things for you for this week. So let's go ahead and go back and let's take a look at Mars. So Mars, we can see right here, is in Virgo, and Mars is nothing's happening with Mars there, Danny. We advance our week out here. We can see that Mars starts to play some games here. He starts to connect with some people. In particular, he starts to connect with Venus on the 6th. So on Wednesday, we have this sextile with Venus, and we're going to have this for just about a month and maybe a little bit longer than almost a month and a half. So all the way through about mid-October. And this particular is really good for confidence and assertiveness in chasing your desires, in chasing your dreams without that feeling of being threatened, without that feeling of, an obstacle coming. Not to say that there isn't going to be obstacles, but it's a really beautiful energy for us pursuing our deepest desires. This is also a really good time for romance and socializing and connecting with people and allowing ourselves to be open to receive love. Now, this is very interesting because Venus actually did go direct on Sunday, September 3rd. So she goes direct. And then we have some other guys going retrograde. Let's talk about that in a second. But she went direct. And so when Venus goes direct, it's an opportunity for us to now move forward, right? So we've spent the last 6 weeks while she was in retrograde position to evaluate our finances, our values, our relationships, love, right? Love of self and love of others, allowing ourselves to receive love, to be loved, right? And so we've been able to kind of look at that. And I hope you've taken these past 6 weeks, or I'm pretty sure something came up as it relates to those ideas in your life. I heard a lot around people leaving relationships, healing relationships, some coming back together. Like, I've heard a lot of different things. I know my clients have experienced a lot of different things around this. And so with Venus going direct, it's time now to move forward. So there were some decisions, there were some actions, there were some things that took place over these past 6 weeks. Now it's time to move forward, to do that integration of moving forward. And it can feel, right, sometimes it can feel a little hard to make that step forward. I'm going to encourage you that whatever has come up for you in the past 6 weeks came up for your greatest and highest good. It came up for a reason. There was the release, or there was the connection, or whatever it might be, the healing that happened, whatever it might be, came up for your greatest and highest good. And now it is time to move forward. Now, for some of you, you're like, yep, done. I'm ready to move forward. Let's move forward. Now, I want to make sure that if you are moving forward, you've actually done the healing around it. There are 4 stages of healing, and letting go, moving forward is the last stage. Okay. So we can't get to here, or else we'll come back and repeat and repeat and repeat. Right. I know my love and I, when we were first dating, we had, been on our own, basically not really in a relationship for about 1.5 to 2 years. And when we came together, we were still in the same patterns of our old relationships. And there came a point where we're like, wait, we can't do, like, this ain't working. This ain't working, right? And we had to come to an understanding of what we wanted moving forward. And so that was a moment of us like, ooh, okay, like, we are not repeating these same patterns anymore. And that's what can happen if we don't actually heal, if we don't actually look at these things, if we don't actually get the deeper healing that we need, so that we can take a new version of us, the more authentic version, the healed version, right, into the relationship, instead of the trauma person, right? Instead of the trauma relationship. We don't want to do that. So that is Venus. We also have Mars connecting with, let's get to the end of the week here. Oh, I thought there was something else, but it's not. All right, so we are good with Mars. So let's take a look at the other two planets here that are going retrograde. So we had Uranus go retrograde on August 28th. So the end of last week, middle of last week, we had Uranus go retrograde, and Uranus is going to be retrograde. It's about a 5-month stint. So we'll see it end of January 26th of 2024. So when Uranus goes retrograde, because remember, each planet, when it goes retrograde, it has its own area of our life that it rules, right? Where Mercury is that communication, that thinking, that short travel, our neighborhoods, our siblings, like that type of energy. Uranus, because it is an outer planet, it is more of a collective planet. So we see changes with Uranus more on a collective level, like more globally. But on an individual level, right, we can also see where Uranus is affecting us. So because it is now moving into that retrograde position, we have an opportunity, because Uranus loves to mix things up. It loves to shake things up. It loves to have these unexpected things come into our lives and change things, just kind of throw spaghetti on the wall, right? And see what happens. Uranus loves to do that. And although it feels like that, there is still that idea of there's some reason, there's a higher understanding of why this is happening to us. And so Uranus, when he goes in retrograde, it like slows things down for us, where there's not these like drastic changes that are happening. It's not, thrown out of anywhere. It's like, it's actually time for us to integrate what has been happening the past 6 months. Because sometimes we don't get that opportunity with Uranus, right? It just happens and we're like, oh, okay, right? Although the change that is happening was for our greatest and highest good, it still may not have felt like that, right? I know a few people who were, some of my clients, as a matter of fact, were laid off of jobs, and it was something that was unexpected, right? It wasn't what they were anticipating, but it happened. And it's like, oh crap, what do I do now? And I have to figure some things out, right? Now that change, this period through Uranus is like, okay, let's figure out what is happening and what it is that I want to do now, right? Where it is that I'm moving forward to now. So really good time to slow down, to regulate our nervous systems, to really have some more quiet time. And this is very interesting, right? Because this period that we're about to step into later this month is our fall equinox, right? So when we move out of summer, we move into fall, our seasons change, things start to slow down, our days are much shorter, our nights are a lot longer. And so there's more of a restorative type energy that we're coming into. And that's right. Makes sense. It helps you understand, right, these rhythms that Mother Earth has for us to follow. And when we follow them, this is where we feel much more in tune with what is going on. And we can, right, we can relish in it instead of trying to go against it. So this period of time is a good time to reintegrate what has been going on the past 6 months, even back to the beginning of this year. Like, what has been going on for you? What's ready to integrate now? Where are we ready to dive into some of the big changes that have happened for you? If you've been on the healing journey, I know I have done a lot of healing this year, because been on that healing journey, then this is a time to how are we integrating this stuff? What is going on, right, in our lives, and where are we now headed? So we've got Uranus doing its thing. Now it is it's not quite conjunct Jupiter, but I will say this: Jupiter is also going retrograde. As a matter of fact, Jupiter goes retrograde on September 4th, on Monday. So Jupiter is also in Aries, just with Uranus, which is why we've seen a lot of interesting things, let's just say, this year. A lot of things happening, but Jupiter is our planet of expansion. It is our planet of growth and opportunity and luck. And so when Jupiter goes retrograde, we definitely want to look at and bless, like have gratitude for the blessings that Jupiter bestowed upon us, right? The blessings that we have had this year, and grateful for the opportunities and the growth we've been able to do, as well as looking at the things that we don't want to look at. You know, because Jupiter is that planet of expansion and growth, there is also the shadow side. In order for us to be able, right, to grow, we have to do some work. And I often look at, when I look at the expansion idea, when I look at the growth opportunities, there's also the aspect of us that doesn't want to grow. There's the aspect of us that loves to stay in our comfort zone. There's the aspect of us that loves to overdo the non-essentials so that we don't have to deal with it. Well, Jupiter is here to ask us to do that. Now, every single time a planet goes retrograde, we can see how it is personally going to affect us. And I'd like to take a minute to kind of share what that's going to look like. And I'll use my chart as an example of this because I don't think people often talk about this. And I want to show you this because I'm here to help you, my friend. I'm here to be your guide. So this is, if you ever wanted to look at my natal chart, here you go. So this is, this right here in the center is my natal chart. So what we're looking at, if you haven't seen this before, is what's called a transit chart, meaning that we're looking at our natal chart in the center, which is this lighter purple color. And we're looking at the outer purple, the darker purple circle, as the planets that are in our sky right now. And so we can look at those and say, how are the planets that are currently, where they're currently positioned, where they at right now, affecting my natal chart, where the planets were when I was born. So this is personal, this is very specific to me and anybody else that was born at the exact same time as me. So we can see, we're going to look at Jupiter. Now I can also look at Uranus because we're just talking about Uranus being retrograde. So Uranus and Jupiter right here, they are in what's called my third house, which is the house of communication, the house of thinking, learning, short travel, siblings, neighborhoods, that energy, right? And we can see that Jupiter is actually conjunct my Venus, my natal Venus. So for me, looking at this, I can say for sure some things around money, values, and relationships is going to be something for me to look at, right? Over this period while Jupiter is retrograde to pretty much the end of the year, this is an opportunity for me to look at those three things. Maybe it's one particular area of my life, which I can already start to kind of think about it as I look at this, right? There's also Chiron. So Jupiter is conjunct Chiron and conjunct Mars. So there's something around my drive, my willpower, my actions that I'm taking that is ready for me to be looked at, as well as some wounding because there's Chiron there, which is our deepest wounds. Now, we can also take a look at what's directly across here and we can see Uranus. If we look at, let's look at just that here. We can see that there is an opposition here to my natal Uranus, which, as we were just talking about with the sun, right? Opportunity for some changes, an opportunity for things to shift things up in my life, to make some changes. There's some freedom I'm wanting, some exploration I'm wanting for sure, because we're talking about Uranus is in my ninth house. So I'm definitely looking at how can I get out and travel or have some freedom, some extra freedom in my life. I can tell you, my friend, it's definitely been on my mind. But here's some other interesting really things. We talked about the sun being trine Jupiter, that luckiest day of the year. And I'm having that position right now with where Jupiter is. So really good. I can already tell there's the changes that I'm going to make are really going to serve me well in the opportunities that are potentially coming to me, right? That's how I see this, whether that is in regards to getting my message out, whether that's in regards to me speaking. I can tell you, my friends, there are thoughts of the podcast on the horizon. If that sounds like something you'd want to hear, if you'd want to hear me on a podcast, let me know. And I'm thinking about that. We also got this trine to my north node and my south node. So again, the direction, my purpose, my mission, what I'm here to do. So I've got to make some changes. I've got to do some healing in order for this to be unlocked up here. So I already know that I'm gonna definitely take a look at these areas in my life, more of that shadow side of these things, so that I can unlock these opportunities to really get my message out. You know, and maybe that's around the podcast. Who knows? You'll have to stay tuned to see how this plays out for me. But that is indeed, my friend, what we can do when we're looking at your specific natal chart. We can look and see, how is this particular Uranus retrograde working for you? How is particular Jupiter retrograde working for you? How is Mercury retrograde working for you? What are some things that we can look at that you can explore? Because, my friend, I know just as much as you do, there are tons of things that we can be working on, but when we can focus it in and really be aware of, like, oh, I've received that message. Okay, this is something I probably should be working on. My friend, that is our sidereal astrology forecast for the week. We've got a lot of really cool things going on. We are in retrograde season. We do have our new moon happening next week, so look out for that. And the new moon will be in Leo, just FYI. We will still be in Leo, but the very edge of the Leo. So we will still have our new moon in Leo before he moves into Virgo. All right, so that wraps up this sidereal forecast. My friend, though, I do want to say, if you are somebody who wants to dive deeper into this information, wants to understand how the planets and the stars are affecting you, and really work with your natural rhythms to unlock your true and authentic self by exploring your inner knowledge, my friend, I invite you to come join us in Cosmic Alchemy. This is my brand new program. It's a 12-month program, a self journey that you get to go on to heal. This month, we are currently working on Leo. We will be moving into Virgo in a couple of weeks. But we have been looking at our Leo energy. We have been, last week we did an attunement to connect in with our Leo energy, looking at a past life. This week, we're going to do our final healing in the Leo energy, and to really allow us to step in, to step up, to have that confidence, to have that energy of Leo fully expressed in ourselves. So if you are interested in exploring more of that and what that might look like for you, there is a link down in the description box where you can learn more about Cosmic Alchemy. My friend, this is a small, intimate group. There's group coaching. As a matter of fact, we have our group coaching later this week, where you'll get to get insights about you specifically, right? And I'll be talking about where Uranus and Jupiter are going to be retrograde and how that's going to affect you specifically. So Cosmic Alchemy members, get ready, because that's what we're doing this week. And if you would like to join us, we'd love to have you. All right, my friend, that is it for us. Remember, close your eyes and take a deep breath with me. My friend, find peace.